This is my episode 3 review for Moon Knight. Honestly, a great show. Probably one of the best shows on TV right now. Honestly, I really enjoyed it. Arthur was really kind of interesting character in this episode. He had a lot to do with it. He was really accusing people of a lot of things, really just saying everything up, and I feel like Mark and Steven showing off was definitely a good part of the episode. Number one, they arrive in Egypt. Finally arrive in Egypt. Pretty much confusion goes on because he's actually speaking Arabic at one scene, and the taxi driver was like, "You're acting like you're a foreigner." And it showed it made Cairo look actually pretty fun to go to. But what do you think? Honestly, it made Egypt look pretty cool, and it was somewhere I'd want to travel to. Number two, Mark and Steven think each other are taking over and are confused. So pretty much, there's a fighting scene, and they're fighting a group of guys, and it turns out like all of them are dead. So because he like loses consciousness when one of them takes over, but I think Khonsu's actually taking over during this point, and that's my theory in general. Because how do both of them don't remember it? Because one's supposed to be more violent than the other, and one's supposed to be take over when it's like supposed to get violent or like fighting scenes in general. So honestly, that part kind of confused me, but I think Khonsu's actually taking over. Number three, they're confused. There's a group of men, and they decline to lead him in the tomb. That was what I was just talking about. And one of them actually jumps off in the name of Ahmet because he's someone who's supposed to be judging people before predisposed judgment in general. Number four, Khonshu makes an eclipse and is summoned by other gods. So when he made the eclipse, he was pretty much just trying to... That was probably the best scene. He was just trying to get their help on everything to try to stop Arthur from pretty much digging up the grave. That was pretty much the main thing. But when Arthur saw that, he was like, keep digging. He really didn't care. And he pretty much tried to gaslight. Arthur tried to gaslight them and said, Mark and Steven really don't even know the difference in each other. There's pretty much marriage documents in one name, and then work licenses in the other. So he's like, that really doesn't make a lot of sense. And honestly, he really accused him of a lot of things. And that was the main thing, in my opinion. He really said the gods were really mad at Khonshu and said that they would trap him in a rock. Honestly, I don't really know. They need to start believing him more because he seems to be right and everyone doesn't see it. Number seven, the wife brings him to meet a friend, and they're pretty much, he's trying to read the hieroglyphics without talking to Steven because he knows them. Steven knows the hieroglyphics, but the wife has really distracted other people, so he doesn't look really weird. So that was pretty much a good scene. They ripped something off of it, like this carpet type thing on the tomb, and a fight actually ensued after that. Honestly, a great fight scene. Both Mark and Steven took over. Great fighting styles. Honestly, Mark really stepped up actually fighting wise when his wife was about to die. Actually, his former ex-wife, because he actually tried to protect her because he didn't want one of the gods' avatars to take her over. Honestly, I forgot to mention this, but in the tomb there were also other avatars of other gods. It's kind of interesting to see. One was in a suit and tie. There was also a lot of them. That was honestly a good thing. I just really want to see a lot more good action scenes. I feel like a lot of this has been entertaining, really insightful in Egyptian gods in general. Very interesting if you want to learn about that, and definitely an entertaining show. So then they realized that the coordinates that they got were pretty much stars. And the stars really don't align because the stars in the sky change and align every day. And the stars that on this thing were from 2,000 years ago. And Khonshu actually turns back time of the stars in the sky, and everyone's really noticing it in Cairo because that was the main place where it would be night, and the gods were really mad, and it's pretty much just put him in stone. And Arthur goes in and pretty much tells him if he wasn't broke, he broke him, and now he's about to be healed. He's pretty much delusional the whole episode. I wish there was another really fight scene between them, but he actually did show up when they were fighting the other guy, pretty much the other people, so that was pretty interesting. But what do you think? Gods in the MCU has been pretty interesting. I feel like the Egyptian gods are pretty powerful, especially Khonshu, who he can pretty much turn back the time of the stars. He probably turn back time in general, but honestly a very powerful god. I wonder who would win, the Egyptian gods in the MCU or the Norse gods. Honestly, I would probably put my money on the Egyptian gods just because they seem kind of invincible. Like, Odin could die, like he died of old age, so I don't really know how that would make him that much stronger. But honestly, this is part of my review. But for the next part of my review, honestly, Moon Knight's just been an interesting character. Really slept on in my opinion. Like, I didn't really know of him for a while. Like, I knew of him in general, but didn't know his full story. Oscar Isaac just gives an amazing performance. Probably one of the best characters in this show. And he's just been the best part. Honestly, he's really stolen the whole show. And I wish they could make this into a movie. Or really do something else. But honestly, that was my main thing. And what's your opinion on this episode? Honestly, for my ranking of this episode, something I'm about to do right now, I would say 9.7 out of 10. Honestly, a great episode. But what's your opinion? Do you like Ethan Hawke's performance? I honestly do as well. He's been pretty great in this show. Really good. And I'm looking at it right now, Moon Knight. So the actor who actually played Shang-Chi actually said that his pronunciation of Mandarin Chinese was pretty bad, Ethan Hawke. Which honestly, I didn't really notice that part. But pretty much the scenes of the Moon Knight, or just Moon Knight in general, pretty good. I feel like everyone likes Moon Knight. They actually reference Wolverine, pretty interesting right there as well. Honestly, hopefully in the new Doctor Strange movie, there's some mention. Some people think there's actually going to be pretty much X-Men, so all the X-Men characters, Storm, Beast, Cyclops, all of them are going to come to MCU. Honestly, it's going to be hard to believe. Maybe Fantastic Four too. Some people are predicting that. Honestly, I can't wait for that to happen, or see what's going to happen. I don't know. Is it going to be like Andrew Toby situation where they're really lying about it? It's been hush-hush. Andrew and Toby, a lot of people really suspect that for a while, though I feel like it really wasn't that much of a secret. But what's your opinion? Honestly, the MCU, I'm really looking forward to the upcoming movies coming out from them. I'm just really happy the next phase of the MCU. A lot of interesting things happen in the Marvel Universe. I really hope that the Black Panther 2 actually does happen. But I don't know, I'm really confused. Also, I feel like Cesar Chavez is honestly being probably one of my favorite characters once she comes out on Doctor Strange 2. I wish some of the Marvel movies would come out quicker. Doctor Strange really hasn't movie since 2016. And honestly, I feel like he deserves another movie after this. Like, they should do a movie next year just because how much they had to wait. And then, Screen Geek said something. New X-Men project may have been leaked at Marvel Studios. Honestly, I feel like it could be kind of a joke thing. I don't really know. But X-Men, I feel like them coming to MCU is going to be kind of hard to do. Just because Wanda already has her powers. They said they were pretty much, they were enhanced by the Infinity Stone. They weren't, they were like dormant. So pretty much they were enhanced by that. They didn't do experiments and it just happened. Because before we believed that it pretty much just mutation. They pretty much experimented on her, but now it seems like she's a mutant. But I don't know how they would really explain that in MCU terms. But what do you think? Honestly, Thor Love and Thunder is honestly a great movie. There's gonna be a god killer in that movie. Honestly, the new Thor movie, I can't wait for that trailer. I should have been talking about that too. Honestly, gonna be a great show. And Natalie Portman's actually gonna be Thor. That's gonna be pretty interesting. And I feel like it's just a great line for the Thor franchise to go under. It's gonna be a very funny movie. I feel like a lot of people are gonna watch it. And it's gonna be very entertaining to watch. It's gonna be probably one of the biggest Thor movies. I feel like the villain's really gonna have to come A+. It's also Christian Bale, Gore the God Butcher, definitely gonna be a good character. And some people think the reason why they haven't released the new trailer is because Moon Knight actually could have Gore the God Killer, some mention of something in there. And honestly, it's kind of insane Christian Bale went from Batman to now Thor. Honestly, a pretty good career move because it seemed like the MCU's been doing really good. Honestly, some surprising news as well. Warner Discovery happened. Discovery Channel bought Warner Media, and honestly, it's been insane. It seemed like they want to wash up the DCU or revenerate it something. But what do you think? Comment down below, and I'm probably posting this video tomorrow, so be checking it.